this is probably the contents of 3 or maybe even 4, and they don't always, they're all mixed up. So this one, this little part, if I can find the rest of it, this is a part that it's broken. The reason that it wasn't thrown out completely by the people at the Fountain Pen Hospital, I think, is because there's a little coat of arms on the lever, which is really neat. And that's why I bought that baggie, or looked at it. It's a swallow, and I might have a barrel that I can put the lever in. I'm not sure if I want to bother taking the time to do that, but it's really, really neat. You can't see what it is. I don't even know whose coat of arm is it? Who knows? But, so here's a Webster pen. I like the sort of emery board match lighter texture on the clip. I have a couple of these in my collection already. I don't know if I have a black one, so now I have a black one. Here's a diamond metal pen, and keep this in mind as we wander through things. Here's a gold bond pen with a perfectly good nib, not for calligraphy, but it could be good for drawing. But I love pens with this sort of plastic that looks like hard rubber, with the yellow ends. I think I have a blue one that's like this with yellow ends. See? What do you know? Blue. Now I've got a red one, but I'm saving this to show you later. Okay, so we've got these. Some of these are off-brand Big Reds that were made to imitate the Big Red, and I have a collection of those. No one collects them, but I do. And the ones that are good quality, made by good quality, good people, are better than the ones that are crappy quality. This is a good quality. These are crappy qualities. I'm not even going to take them out of the bag. Leave them there. So, and again, this is not a baggie that I bought. I mean, I bought a baggie, but it had different things in it. What does this have? This has a skyline there was a different skyline in here that I was working, so that's fine. Nothing here. I mean, yes, there's things here. There's a perfectly good Schaefer desk pen, nib and everything, which will make someone happy when I put it in find a base for it. Here's some other, there's another Star pen, I think. Star Pen Company. And this one had a really, really flexible nib, but it's very fragile. It'll go from 0 to 60. Well, it goes from 5 to 60. I'll just show you for God's sake. How difficult is it? It's very, very flexible, but it's one of these things that I think it's too fragile for a lot of people. I wouldn't trust this with that many people, because they'll press down it's too easy to press down too far on this nib. You really have to know when to stop. And I think I would know when to stop if I remembered. And this would be good. This would be a pen I would use to do calligraphy on place cards that were dark gray, and I was using black ink, because it makes a big, bold calligraphic line, but bigger than it needs to be. But it's very responsive, as you can see. It's a really sweet pen, but I don't think, I mean, if one of you might want to buy it, it's possibly for sale. Here's another gold bond. Let's see if I can fix this clip. I may have a different cap for it. I've got a lot of these kind of caps, this kind of pattern, so maybe I have a cap that would fit this better. This clip I think I can fix though. Okay. Here's a pen I've never ever seen before by a company I don't know. And I might be able to fix it. I don't know. I think it's glued together. Often these pens that were manufactured toward the end of pen, after the ballpoints were invented, which is this era, pens were made really, really cheaply to compete with the price. Okay, so what do we have here? Miscellaneous. This is, again, a bunch of bags. I bought 20 bags of $50 pens, maybe. And I'm only showing you 6 bags. So this is another Big Red Wannabe. Doesn't really... The reason that, again, this was being put in a baggie rather than sold over the counter in New York City is there's not really a lot of... The threads here are a little bit worn. So you don't... There's only sort of a half a turn that connects it. And that's not enough for me to sell to someone over the counter. I'd really have to explain that over and over and over again and let them know that it might be easy for this pen to sort of unscrew itself in your pocket. And so if I sell this pen, I'm going to, really point that out to them and make sure they understand, because it does have a flaw. Now, I may, in my collection, I may have a barrel just like this, or a cap just like this, and I can swap them and they'll screw on fine. But that's what's nice about having a collection of parts, is that I can take a pen that doesn't work out of here and I can swap elements and they'll be fine. So here's a nice eclipse. This is going to be turned into a Franken pen, I think. These big pens are good for Franken penning. Here's a John Holland. This had a very firm-ish, just slightly flexible, firm nib. And this would be great for drawing. It's very sturdy. It doesn't make a delicate line, but it makes a really bold line. Now this is what I want to show you. See, this was a half a pen, 2/3 of a pen. It needs a cap. So cross your fingers, cross your fingers, cross your fingers. Remember this I showed you? Is this going to fit it? This was a mismatch from my parts boxes. Cross your fingers, please, 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 please. Look at that! I've made a lapis blue diamond metal pen. Now it's going in my collection. I've been waiting 30 years for this cap. Where's my fireworks display? But this is what's fun about buying these baggies, is maybe a piece will fit together with something you already have. Of course, I'm looking now still for the cap that's blue and yellow. I have one that was red and yellow. Showed you that one earlier. Looks like this, but it's blue. So you let me know when you find one, because then I'll have 2 pens that are complete. Okay, what else do I have here? This was really, really sweet, and this was just the reason that this was not in a baggie, but the reason that this was in the quote zippered sale case was it's just small, unless there's another problem with it that I haven't found out yet. But it's just and it's made by the Swan Pen Company, but it's really, really cute. I think that the Fountain Pen Hospital knows what they're doing, but I've never seen a swan like this, and I think that maybe they thought it was something lesser than a swan. So maybe I got something good. I mean, they're all good. Maybe I got a surprise. Maybe this was a little bonus. But again, this was not in the baggies. Let's see. Here's another of those Aero Weidlicke-like clips, but this one says, what does this say? John Holland. So maybe those are John Hollands, not Weidlickes. John Hollands were a good pen company, but they their nibs are almost always sort of firm, I've discovered. And I like the Cincinnati O. They don't say Ohio. They don't go the full 4 letters. They just do the one. Pick Pen Company also. Is this a Pick? Exceptional, made in USA. This is a Pick pen, and they were from Cincinnati, Ohio as well. And you can tell them easily by their wasp-waisted section. And their section is often a little bit shorter than most, which is kind of neat. The difference, I guess. Here we have some more Big Red Wannabes. Again, these will go in my collection of orange pens. Some of these Liberty and oh, it does have an L there. Liberty fountain pen, New York City. Okay, what else do we have? Keep going. Now, many of these pens are going to be for sale and are going to be sold to you. This was the baggie that had the 61 in it. And this was a baggie that had the following things. It had 2 caps for pencils. It had a 61 that I made work by inhaling a bunch of dried ink. This is the 61 that is all warped and bent. Has a good nib. This is shot. The little gold arrow is in the baggie here somewhere. It does have a gold fill cap. It has a gold fill back. This is gold fill, so all of the parts match. It's all fine except for this bit. Now, I don't think this pen is going to write well because of the even if I got it cleaned out, I think it might still be, it won't write well because of the malformation of this thing. But it might, and if it does work, if I can make it work, it'll be a perfectly good working, usable pen for someone. Not you, not you, not you, certainly not you. You wouldn't even be in the same room with it. But you, way over there, that wants a pen to write with, that's you. This pen is yours. This one was in this baggie as well. This is a very rare, relatively rare late Parker pen, and I have one that needs this and needs a barrel. It's missing its little thing back here. So now I have the parts to make that pen complete, I hope, without breaking it. But I'll show you that operation when I get to it. Okay, what's in here? Here was another, I don't want to say it was overlooked by the Fountain Pen Hospital people, but this, I don't think it was. This is a very rare nib in a relatively rare pen, but I brought this to the collector that collects this kind of pen, and he took out of his case the exact same thing with a broken cap and a broken barrel, and it had a nib, and so, but this nib is worth $50 probably to a collector that collects Seth Crocker pens. So the rest of the thing is useless, but the nib is good. Here's a perfectly lovely Waterman, which I will sell. It has a very, very stiff nib, so I'll probably put a nice flexible nib in this and sell it. Oftentimes when people buy pens from me, you're essentially buying the nib in a barrel. I charge 90% of what I charge for a pen is the nib, or what I think the nib is worth. This nib is perfectly fine if you want a nib that's very firm. Nothing wrong with that nib. Maybe I'll just leave it the way it is. But I could put a flexible nib in there. Schaefer, another Schaefer. This one I think is broken. I think there's a crack up here, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. This is warped down here, but it's a gem fountain pen. I might be able to fix it. What's in here? Here is, okay, this is a mismatch. Well, maybe not. Who knows? I never quite know with these things. I think this is supposed to have a yellow top, but this is a, who made this pen? Just a minute. Eagle Pen Company. Maybe I can find a yellow top or a barrel that looks like that at the bottom to make it be that much more correct. Firm nib, steel nib. I think this is a steel nib. No, 14 karat. It says right there. Just a minute. Let me look. No, 14 karat. Majestic pen. No, Harris. It's a Harris pen, not a Majestic. This will be perfectly fine for a writer, not a calligrapher, not a drawer. I mean, nothing's wrong with it. It can work for a drawer. Here's what is this? Travelers. This is a pen that I cannot fix. It has one of these piston things that does it work? I don't think it works. It's spring-loaded. I've never seen one that was spring-loaded before. Normally they're not. It will look pretty in the case, but it's not really fixable. See what else I have. 40 minutes. These were really sweet. I was looking through my swag and I came across this, and it's a nice yellow pen by the Weidlich Pen Company, and as I was going through it, I came across another one, and I thought, I've already seen this one, but I found out that now I've got two. I can make earrings. They're really darling, and they're made by a good quality company. These are 3-4 diamond metal pens, which come in all of the primary colors of light green, so these might make a nice little set. These all have relatively firm nibs. I'd have to look at them again to make sure, but there's nothing wrong with them. They're great little pens. I'm just looking at the labeling on them, the marking. Gold medal. This one says gold medal. These say diamond metal. Okay, so they're not the same company. These are 3 diamond medals, and this is a gold medal. I think they were made by the same company. Here's another diamond medal, and this is a fluted one, which is kind of pretty. Flexible nib. A lot of these have names on them, which I don't mind, but it's a hard thing for the Fountain Pen Hospital to sell a pen that has a name on them to someone, a sophisticated New Yorker. But I'm from Somerville, Massachusetts, so that's fine. We have running water, but that's about as sophisticated as we get. Here's another example of, these are pens that were not in the baggie. This was in a baggie, and it's a Schaefer, has a really nice firm Schaefer nib that's almost metallic, and it has these 2 bands, which is very rare. These might have been added by a jeweler to a desk pen, so that's good. Here's one of these fun diamond metal pens that looks like this, and it becomes long in your hand, but in your purse or man bag or merce, it's small. Here's a pen pencil combo that I don't know if I have. It's quite lovely. Here is, this is very funny. I bought this because it made me smile. It's a big, sturdy, hunky pen. And you unscrew the cap and, oh, poor thing, little tiny nib. that happens every once in a while. You see a big, beefy boy and at the gym, and you look at him in the shower and you think, oh dear, poor thing. Here, and then he gets in his really big car. So here I paid $165 for this. Okay? It's worth more than that to me, and it's worth more than that to you, I think. The reason that, unless there's another flaw that I don't know about, it's a Waterman 0552, meaning gold fill overlay. I love the engraving on it. R.B. McCoy, 1925, OES officers, whatever OES was. It has even a, most people would think this nib is better than a Waterman nib that would be in it because it's a Parker Lucky Curve nib by mistake. So I hope I can fix this. It's really a nice pen. I think it's a $300 pen, even with the name. I think these pens are lovely. It's in really good shape. There's not any plating wear on it really to speak of, other than maybe the little end of the ball there and right up here a little tiny bit. But I think it's in really sweet shape, and I'll keep it myself. Now, someone could say they engraved it upside down, which they may have done, or it may have been made for a lefty. Normally, you have the pen so that you can read the engraving when you're holding it. And here, it's upside down. But here, it's right side up. So, this either was engraved correctly for a lefty, or it was engraved incorrectly for a righty. You decide. Okay. What do we have here? Another Weidlich. Yep, another Weidlich. See, there's that clip again. What's this? Oh, this has everything. It's either all wrong, but which parts are wrong? There are 3 correct parts and 3 wrong parts. This part is a Schaefer, this part is a Moore, and the nib is something else altogether. The nib is a Weidlich. So I have the starts of 3 pens, or the finish of 3 pens, but they're together and they're wrong. Okay, what else do we have? What's in here? Oh, these had, there were 2 broken Waterman pens with nice Waterman nibs and a pencil. So that was worth $50, right? Yes. Now again, I have to put them in a pen and make them right and all that other stuff. So it's going to be more than this one. Is another diamond metal. No, this is a, what is this? A Swan? Anyway, it has, oh, Aiken Lambert, I remember now. It has it's a bulb fill. I don't think I have one of these in my collection. And it has a nice flexible nib. The cap, when you put a cap on and it's hard to get past the bumps to the thing, it means that something is shrunk a little bit. And that doesn't bother me, but it does bother some. What else do we have here? These are pens with gold nibs. These again were part of other baggies that I just dumped in there because I don't want to deal with them right now. I can make them into pens and they can work perfectly fine, but I don't want to deal with them now. This one, again, this has a Wall Eversharp ladies pen without a ring. It's supposed to have a ring, and it has a big old, someone stepped on it here and has a name on it, so whatever, but it has a nice nib, which I can leave it in this pen, put a sack on it and sell it, or I can take that nib out and put it in something that I could sell for a little bit more. But again, someone might be I'd be perfectly happy with this. If this were the only pen I had on my desert island, I could do beautiful things with this. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, folks. Okay, let's see. What else we have? No one knows how beautiful it is other than me. Here's a flexible something. Oh, it's a Conklin. It's a Conklin pen without its... Oh, it didn't... Never had a ring top. Maybe it did. Warranted first quality pen. It has a very nice nib in it. It's not a Conklin nib. It just happens to be in there, so I may leave it in there or I may put it in something else. So, is that it? Here's my shout out to the Fountain Pen Hospital. Empty. They're really great. The Fountain Pen Hospital teaser. If you're in New York, go check them out. I've never actually been in their brick and mortar store before, which I probably should do. But I've seen them at pen shows for the last 30 years, and they're really a good batch of people. And I love their baggies. And I told them, I said, you know, I can put together the same kinds of baggies that you do. I've got thousands of parts and pens that I don't want to deal with fixing, and I can do that, and maybe I will one day. But right now, I'm having fun buying. I'm still having fun buying, and I still have fun selling the right pen to you. But this one is making me smile. I was able to, in all the years of looking, I found a cap to go with this pen, and it's a blue diamond metal pen. So, see you later. Bye.